Today in our 2016 GMC Sierra 2500 HD, we'll be installing the Pollak replacement 7-pole RV style trailer connector socket, part number PK11893. To ease our installation, we'll be using the Pollak 4-foot pigtail wiring harness for 7-pole RV sockets, part number PK11998. So here's what our 7-way socket looks like. We have an industry standard connector here, 4 screw locations to secure it. Nice door here to help hold our wire connector in and keep the elements out of our connection. Has a nice rubber gasket here to keep all the moisture and elements out of there as well. Now, we're going to be installing this with conjunction of a 4-foot harness here that we have available separately on our website. This will allow us to plug into the connector here, like so. Just like that. And we have the bare wire leads to attach to our vehicle. Now, the reason we're doing this is because our vehicle that we have in here today, we put a gooseneck hitch on, and it's pre-wired to have a secondary 7-way connector in the bed of the truck for your gooseneck or your 5th wheel trailers. But we don't have a connector end on it, we just have bare wire leads. I'll show you that now. So right in front of our back bumper and above where our spare tire would be, we have the spare tire taken down right now for ease of installation. See this nice loop of wire here? We'll cut these zip ties. There's one there, another one right here. You can see where we have our wires all bundled up here with some heat shrink over them. This is where we'll make our connection with our harness with the connector on the end of it, and we can plug it into our 7-way. Now we need to find a place where we're going to mount our 7-way connector. We're going to go right about here, just off the side. We need to make a hole with a hole saw in order for our connector to feed through. So we're just going to kind of center up this where we want it, just right about there, and we will make a pilot hole with a drill, just like that. Now we can use our hole saw. Now we'll take a 2 1/8 inch hole saw here. Okay, now we'll take our end of our wiring harness. We'll drop it down through the hole we drilled. And it'll come out the bottom of our bed. We'll let this sit here for the time being. Now our wiring harness here on our truck, there's a sticker here that tells you the color codes and all the functions of the wiring. We're going to start with our left turn signal and stoplight function, which is the yellow and gray wire located right inside this bundle of wire here. This has our turn signals and our trailer functions as well as our ground wire. So we have our main ground wire, our turn signals, and our tail light functions here. So what we're going to do, we're going to take off this heat shrink tubing here. Probably need a utility knife to do that. So we'll just come in here for a utility knife. Slice that open to gain access to the wires inside. Alright, so we got our yellow gray wire here. We'll strip out some of our insulation, just like so. Now this yellow gray wire, again, is for our left turn signal and stoplight, and that will be going to our red wire that drops down from our trailer connector here. So we strip out some insulation from the red wire, and we'll grab our butt connectors. The harness that we're using to install the 7-pole connector comes with standard butt connectors here. I'm going to replace it with some heat shrink butt connectors just because of the fact that these will help seal out moisture, dirt, and debris a little bit better than these will. If you wrap these up with electrical tape though, they work okay. However, with the heat shrink butt connector and wrapped in electrical tape, you'll have a second layer of protection. So we'll take our yellow butt connector here, stick on the wire. So we'll crimp our wire on down on the butt connector, just like so. Then we'll take our yellow and gray wire and we'll add it in. Okay, good. Make sure our wires are in there nice and tight, which they are. Great. Now we'll do our right turn signal, which is this green and violet wire. We'll strip off the insulation there. The green and violet wire that we stripped out the insulation from will go to the green wire on the harness that we're adding. So we'll strip back some insulation on that. And we'll connect the two with a butt connector. Make sure these wires are in there securely, which they are. Work on our ground wire now. That'll be this big white wire, and that'll go to our big white wire here as well. So we'll strip back the ends of both white wires, just like so. Take a butt connector. We need to twist these wires together a little bit so they go in easily. Okay. Now we'll take our blue wire. We'll strip out the heat shrink that covers it. This is our trailer brake output wire. So we'll install our butt connector on, crimp it down, just like so. And that'll go to our blue wire over here. Make sure that's nice and secure. Okay, good. Now we'll take our brown and gray wire here, strip back some insulation from it, just like so. We'll connect it to our brown wire on the harness that we're adding. These wires here are for our running lights or tail light functions on our trailer. Okay, so we'll crimp that wire on down into the butt connector. Make sure we get a nice solid crimp. Now we'll take this white and green wire here. This is for our backup lamps. We'll remove the heat shrink and we'll install a butt connector onto it. That we will add to our yellow wire here, coming off the harness we're adding. Just like so. Okay, so now we have 6 wires down. We have one final connection to make, and that's our positive 12-volt battery feed. Now, you want to make sure you have your battery disconnected before you remove the insulation from this wire, because this wire is live. We've already went ahead and did that, so we'll make our cut here to gain access to the wire and remove some of the insulation. Add our butt connector onto it, and we'll crimp it on down like so. Strip back our insulation on our black wire here. We'll install our wire. Make sure it's nice and tight. Okay, that completes all of our electrical connections now. Now we can take your heat gun, we'll seal these wires all up. Okay, once they're all thoroughly sealed, let it cool off for a minute or so. So now we'll take our electrical tape. We'll come back on the wire loom of the harness that we've added, just to make sure we have a nice solid seal all the way up our wire into our connectors. Squeeze it together. Okay, with that done, we'll have a nice, secure connection here. Don't have to worry about any dirt, debris, or moisture from entering, and we'll have a very long-lasting connection. Now we'll take some dielectric grease, and we'll put in our connector here, just like so. This will just help prevent any corrosion from happening if any moisture were to get inside. We'll take our connector, we'll plug it in, push down on it until it clicks into place, like so. Sometimes you gotta give it a little force to make it click in. Okay, clicked in, and we'll secure the gray locking tab by pushing down on it, just like that. So you can see it's not going anywhere now. We can feed our wire and our connector down inside like that. And we'll secure it to the bed of our truck using some self-tapping screws. Nice and centered. I'm going to start our self-tapping screws. Get one started. And we'll do diagonal in the opposite corner from it, just like so. Then we'll secure it with the other two screws. Okay, good. Now we have a nice solid, secure connection point to plug in our fifth wheel or gooseneck trailer. So now if all our connections made, we have a little bit of wire dangling down here. We'll go ahead and secure this up. Come across here and we'll zip tie it to start with to this factory wiring harness just behind the bumper. Once we have it secure there, we can take this other part here and we'll double it up like so with another zip tie up there. I'll put another one here and here, and this will keep our wire secured and up out of the way. All right, perfect. Now we can cut off our excess zip ties. All right, with our fifth wheel wiring all installed, we need to go ahead and test it. All right, now we have a trailer simulator plugged into our connector, and we'll test all of our functions. I'm going to start by turning our headlights on, and you can see that the LED that corresponds to the clearance lights comes on. I'll turn on our left turn signal, and you'll see that light start to flash as well. Now I'll turn on our right turn signal. You'll see that one flash as well. I'll step on my brake pedal here and you'll see both the left and right turn signal lights will come on and stay solid. Now I'm going to go ahead and put in reverse and you'll see the backup indicator light come on. Alright, put it back in park here. Take my foot off the brake. Now we'll go ahead and activate our trailer brake control. And as you can see, the gauge moves when I hit the manual override switch on our trailer brake controller inside our truck. That means that our connector has a proper output signal for the electric brakes on our trailer. With all of our functions tested, we now have a proper functioning 7-way connector in the bed of our truck to hook up to a fifth wheel or a gooseneck trailer. And that completes our installation of the Pollak replacement 7-pole RV style trailer connector socket, part number PK11893 on our 2016 GMC Sierra 2500 HD.
Click the link below to shop, learn more, or visit us at eTrailer.com.